Hi everyone, I'm your host, owner, and creator of The Mix. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I need for you guys to like, share, subscribe to The Mix, like, share, subscribe to my channel. And before I continue my final review, and again, this is a final review as you can see from the title, on the Tory Lanez motion for a new trial case. So this is like my final recap because today is Sunday, and happy Easter to everyone. And for those who are new to my channel, most of my videos are pre-recorded. And for those who are new to my channel, I need you guys to subscribe. Go ahead and hit the subscription button and notification bell to everyone. That way you'll be in tune with what's going on in the videos and things I publish on my channel, from shorts, and head on over to the community section. I have some polls going on too. So go on over to the community section and vote, drop comments as well. Let's engage you guys in the community section, in the comment section of my channel. Let's just engage. So you can go over to the community section and then you can engage in the comment section on my videos. So again, like, share, subscribe. Everyone, like, share, subscribe, especially those who are digitally passing by. Those who have subscribed, thank you, thank you so much. Big ups, big ups, big ups. I really appreciate it. Those who are viewing, I appreciate you viewing my content as well. My commentary and reaction on the final Tory Lanez case. What are you guys doing for Easter? Drop a comment as well. Are you guys spending it with your family? I would be remiss to not ask you guys that. What are you doing today? And are you going to church, or did you go to church? By the time this video is published, it may be later on during the day or tomorrow, Monday. Drop a comment. How are you spending your Easter Sunday? This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, God, for another day. And let me go ahead and just go over again my final recap of the motion for a new trial. And let me be clear. This is because it seems like some people thinking that this is an appeal, and it's not an appeal, you guys. This is a post-trial motion. These are actions filed by Tory's new team of attorneys. Sometimes the attorneys who handle the trial, they'll go ahead and continue, but obviously they didn't in this case for whatever reason, and that's not really important. What's important is that for Mr. Daystar Peterson, which is his government name, Tory Lanez, to hopefully the judge to grant his motion for a new trial, which was filed on behalf of his attorneys. And again, this is just post-trial motions, actions that are typically filed by the team of attorneys when a guilty verdict is handed down to the defendant. And in this instance, it was. So this is just the action and just procedural that all attorneys do after a conviction is handed down by a judge or jury against the defendant. So in the event Judge David does not grant this motion for a new trial, and I'm inclined to think that it may happen tomorrow during sentencing, April 10th. That's unless something has changed, unless the judge has not decided. But usually in a court of law, sometimes the judges either make a decision on this type of motion before sentencing or at sentencing, kind of like the R. Kelly case as well. If you go back to my video section and look at the content about R. Kelly and the motions that his attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, filed, you will see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so if Judge David does not grant this motion, then Tory's team of attorneys will file an appeal on his behalf. That's the next step. So, and I'm quite sure they probably already prepped for it. And in the event Judge David denies the motion for a new trial, but based off of this motion for a new trial, the pleadings, you guys, is strong, in my opinion. And this is just my opinion, commentary, and reaction to this. I'm not an attorney. I am not a judge. I am not giving legal advice. Just to put that disclaimer out there, I do have a legal background, a strong legal background, and I'm just giving my perspective and opinion and a commentary on this entire matter. I do seem a bit more invested in this because, to be honest, I just felt that, and based off of this motion, which I believe, in my opinion, it is strong, I feel that there should have been an acquittal, a not guilty verdict, especially based off of Kelsey's actions at trial alone. And then this is just was too confusing. I'm wondering, did the judge explain things correctly? And I say this respectfully to the jury. And I'm also wondering why Tory's team of attorneys at trial did not challenge some of this evidence that was admitted. When you're getting into social media, the shade room and Instagram posts, that's far fetched to me. You handle that with a grain of salt. And in my opinion, I'm a woman of a different age, but when you're dealing with those who are not in tune or in touch with the social media world, hence a lot of attorneys are not. I'm just being clear, especially a lot of middle age and older attorneys, hence prosecutors, judges. So what they think they know, they really don't know unless there's someone coming out of law school, like in their 20s, that I'm inclined to think that they're more well equipped to understand the terminologies, the emojis of social media, the trolls, the fake accounts, the post and deletes, the just because you have a blue check mark, even now you're seeing on Twitter, blue check marks don't mean much because anybody can get a blue check mark. So it's not tailored to just celebrities. It's not tailored to politicians. It's tailored to regular people. So when you're talking about being verified in a blue check mark, you also have to think too is that who's running the page? Like I stated in my last video about Tory Lanez in terms of this motion, when they pointed out about, I guess, an Instagram post, and the detective basically testified he was an expert at investigating things, basically connecting the dots. Like, okay, if this person has social media and they're under investigation for something, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, then let's go on his social media and see what we can find, his or her. It could be a female too. So let's go on their social media and see what their name is, see what they're saying. The thing is with that, even with my YouTube channel, I can have somebody else running it. I can have somebody else post it on my behalf. It happens. So with these blue check marks, they're not necessarily posting anything. It could be someone else posting it, not the actual person, not the actual. I call it social media to me. It's like a character because I can technically have somebody else post things on my behalf. I can have a relative. I can have a friend. I can have, hey, here's my access. I need you to post for this week. Go on there. I can give them like ideas what to post or what to talk about, set it up, this and that. And it's not me doing it, it's them, so I mean, that can happen. So when the courts start using this, they have to really cross their T's and dot their I's and ensure, get that person on the stand. If there's not a thorough investigation as to who actually technically posted that, yes, because the account belongs to probably Tory, because of the blue check, but did he actually post ABCD on Instagram? Did whoever posted whatever they posted on the shade room, which I'm just still disgusted at how that evidence, it's like this was a social media type of case. I don't know. This is just weird that they use so much evidence from social media. Not to say they didn't use the victims' statements and this and that. And in my opinion, based off of what I read and reviewed, the victims, the victim's testimony is just was contradictory and just didn't line up. So to me, in my opinion, that was a weak part of the prosecution's team. So what convicted, in my opinion, Tory was in my opinion, what convicted him was the witness who changed their story. Seemed like, which was the witness outside of the home, and then also Kelsey's statement when she when she switched it up too. So it's just like, what is going on? Why, when they were saying something at first and now they're saying something different? In Kelsey's instance, she pled the fifth, so she didn't say anything. But they played an audio for the jury, basically of Kelsey sharing her side of the story, prior to trial. I think a few months prior to trial. But Tory gets on, not Tory, Kelsey gets on the stand and basically stating that, hey, that was all a lie and I plead the fifth or something like that. And I'm just paraphrasing you guys. But again, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So, again, this is a final recap, and tomorrow is sentencing. And I do believe in the Tory Lanez case, his government name is Daystar Peterson. And I do believe Judge David will rule on this motion tomorrow. I'm 99.9% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't have any connections. I'm just basically going off of just the information I've read through the media, social media, in terms of articles and stuff. Some good sources. And then also this motion for a new trial pleadings and how the different actions his attorneys has taken since his conviction. This is what I'm basing my prediction off of. So yeah, defendant's right. Let me go over the page 76. This defendant's rights under the confrontation clause were violated regarding Harris' testimony. This was big, and this is what I feel should have been an acquittal or not guilty verdict. And even if the judge would have sent the jury back and say, hey, you guys, or it should have been a hung jury. So even if the judge would have sent them back, if it was a hung jury and a jury, I felt the jury was pressured. Like it was Christmas approaching. That's just my opinion. I just feel like they were pressured to deliver a verdict because the holiday was coming up. And that shouldn't have been the case. So I wonder if his attorneys, spoke on that too in his pleadings, because again, I skimmed over a lot of things, especially the shade room and the Instagram stuff. I just felt that that's just a bunch of mess, and it should not even have been admitted into this case. His attorneys who handled the trial should have fought this tooth and nail. I don't know what they were doing over there, and maybe they did fight it. I wasn't in California, but it just seems like it wasn't a focus. That's just my opinion, because if they fought it with tooth and nail, then in my opinion, I believe it would have made the news or the media or something like that. And I didn't see anything, unless I'm missing something, everyone. So I skipped over a lot of that in his pleadings, and the pleadings was really heavy with the shade room and Instagram. It's just like I said, he got convicted, seemed like, because of alleged social media posts that really had nothing, people just spewing things. You can't take everything somebody put out there on social media as fact. You have to do a little bit more digging. And like I stated before, I believe prosecutors, who are attorneys, judges, when they're, and I say this respectfully, they don't really understand how social media work. Even with some attorneys, they're not on social media all day. So I'm noticing there are more attorneys now coming over to social media to create content for themselves. So now they're learning, now they're seeing, and some of them are on Instagram too. But again, you have to say too, are they running their channels? It could be a paralegal running their channels, a legal assistant. It could be, one of their kids. You never know. But with attorneys, I'm sure they probably try to cover themselves when they're venturing off into creating content for either Instagram, for their law firm, or for Twitter, or for Facebook, or for YouTube. So, but nevertheless, back to the defendant's right under the confrontation clause were violated regarding Harris's testimony. This to me is a smoking G, and I have to be careful with my terms. It seems like a lot of my videos are not getting a lot of traction. I was like on this roll, on this rhythm before, but so I got to kind of reevaluate some things and see why isn't it? So I got to be careful with the terms that I use. So confrontation clause, and this is page 76. And you can also Google what the confrontation clause is. It is connected to the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, and every defendant has a right to confront a witness. So the confrontation clause to the Sixth Amendment, and I'm reading some excerpts from this pleadings from the motion for a new trial document that Tory's team of attorneys filed. The Confrontation Clause to the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution provides that all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to be confronted with the witness against him. And that's whatever witness, with the victim, whatever witness is against him, that's what this covers. And then Tory's team of attorneys cited some cases, and again, case citation is very, very important. It points out, hey judge, hey court, in this case this is similar to my client's case. In this case, this is what happened, and this is how the courts ruled in that particular person's defendant's favor. So hey, I'm using this as an example, court slash judge. Hey, this is what happened, rule in my client's favor. This is what happened under this type of statute or violation. And they quoted, see also United States versus Owens. That's probably a federal case. Same right is guaranteed by the California Constitution. And they go into other case citations. See People versus Gutierrez. And that happened in 2003. So it's very important to for attorneys, defense attorneys, to conduct their due diligence and go back and find cases that are similar to their client's case to argue this legally before the court as, hey, this is the reason why you should grant this motion for a new trial, or hey, this is the reason why I feel or my client's rights was violated because of ABCD, and grant them an appeal. So this is what happens. Case citation, what happens before, sets the precedent for future cases and legal arguments. Okay, so this is the part that I want to focus on page 76, the last paragraph. It says, and this is line 20, in cases where a witness against a defendant does not testify at trial, his or her testimonial statements will only be admissible in the witness if the witness is both, one, unavailable, and two, the defendant had an adequate prior opportunity to cross-examine the witness. And then they cite another one, Crawford versus Washington. And to my understanding, what this means, and again, I am not an attorney, but what this means is that Tory's Daystar Peterson, that's his government name, his rights were violated because he did not. Kelsey basically played the Fifth Amendment. So, and then also too, it says here under this is page 77, the same, it all flows under this same era that his attorneys just pointed out. Here, when Harris invoked her Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, she was thereafter offered immunity and recalled to testify under the prosecutions thereof. She nonetheless refused to cooperate with the people's case, to the point that they sought and were granted introduction of her September 2022 out of court statement. See, this is what much of which went against the defendant. Yeah. This falls all under the right. Confrontation clause were violated. Defendant's rights under the Confrontation clause regarding Kelsey Harris's testimony, because she played the fifth too. So, but yeah. So this to me, with that, they went and got an out of court statement and played that. I did not understand why the judge allowed that, and why Tory's team of attorneys then at trial did not fight that. To me, that was completely boom, done and over with. Like, the jury should have came back as a hung jury, and they should not have been pressured to go back and deliberate. And that's, in my opinion, possibly pressured to go back and deliberate and to come back with a verdict, because it was all so confusing. And how in this out of court statement, it's not even under oath. And now this person is stating that they lied, and they pled the fifth on mostly everything. So that right there, wow, that it should have been an acquittal, like a not guilty verdict, or it should have been a hung jury. It should have been a hung jury. And like I said, I state this respectfully to Judge David. I don't understand why his decision was his decision, but it was his decision. And two, I do not understand why Tory's team of attorneys did not fight this tooth and nail. I just don't get it. They should have fought so many. That right there should not have happened. The jury hearing that out of court statement recorded in September of 2022 by Kelsey. And to my understanding, the prosecutors interviewed her. And that was their statement to go against Daystar Peterson, which is his government name, aka Tory Lane. So, but it wasn't even admitted into court until it was like last minute. I just don't understand. Like, this was decided last minute because Kelsey got up there and basically pled the fifth on most of all the questions, and then stated she lied. She kept it very, very minimal. She said less. When the terms of say less, that was Kelsey Harris during trial, her trial under oath testimony. Say less. And when she basically stated that the out of court statement she made to the prosecutors back in September was a lie. So how, in my opinion, how can a jury even come back with a guilty verdict? And then you have, they ended up adding a third charge during trial. What judge allows that to happen? Not to say it doesn't happen, but what? I'm just confused. And I'm coming from a legal perspective, you guys, in my opinion and commentary on this. I just really feel that it was more to the story behind the scenes. And this is just my opinion. And is there corruption within the courts and all of that? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Can I prove it? Absolutely not. I can't prove it because I don't have a situation where I can actually say, or somebody can coming out and stating to me to say, hey, this is somebody on the inside saying that or corroborating there is corruption. But I have heard and watched documentaries about corruption within the legal system, the courts, from the prosecutors to the DAs and all of that, and judges. Yeah. Matter of fact, there is a story too about that. It was that judge who, I think in Philadelphia, who was getting paid on the back end for sending those kids to, I think, some type of prison or whatever. But so that's an example of corruption. So I take that back. I run that back. Yes, there is. And I say that confidently, strongly, because I'm quite sure I can pull out so many different examples of situations and in instances where judges and attorneys were found, were disciplined, were incarcerated due to their corruption and errors within the law, within the system, and how they navigate it, and their actions, just their ethics. So basically, their ethics, their ethical behavior, and the and violating their duty for the law and for the public. So yeah, there is corruption, and am I saying it that's what is happening in Daystar Peterson's, aka Tory Lane's case? Um, I mean, you just never know. You just never know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Like, share, subscribe to the mix. Like, share, subscribe. Again, this is my final recap of Mr. Daystar Peterson's motion for a new trial, pleadings, documents that was filed by his team of attorneys. And April 10th, which is Monday, tomorrow, this will be probably heard before the court during sentencing. Maybe sentencing might not happen, because if Judge David grants a motion for a new trial, sentencing won't happen. I really feel Judge David needs to do the right thing, but since all of this happened in Judge David's courtroom, I'm not confident that he will do the right thing. I'm not confident. Again, this is not an appeal, people. This is not an appeal. It's not an appeal at all. It's a motion for a new trial, post-trial action filed by Tory's attorney. Now, if Judge David denies, and I know I keep repeating myself, but I just need you all to understand, if Judge David denies, if he denies the motion for a new trial, if he denies that tomorrow, April 10th, then Tory's team of attorneys will move to file for an appeal. So I hope you guys are getting this. I hope I'm making sense with my breakdowns. I focus more so on the Kelsey situation. To me, that was the smoking GGUN, and all that shade room and Instagram stuff, in my opinion, should not have been admitted into court. Like I stated, there is sort of like a cultural gap when before these judges, even at the Supreme Court level, they're not on social. They're getting fed what's this or what's that, but are they getting fed the correct information? Like I said, and then I'm a woman of a different age, 40 plus. Some things I don't understand, and my 13-year-old understands. And he points things out to me. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know when they use certain emojis, they use them to talk or to communicate. It's a lot of things that I don't know about social media. Because what? I am a woman of a different age, and do I have time to be on it all day, every day? Absolutely not. But when you're young, you're in the know. You're more in the know because, I mean, you're likely don't have a lot of bills to pay. You're likely, probably living with your parents, or you don't have any kids to raise. So you're not like in the know. I mean, those who are younger are more so in the know because they have nothing but time on their hands to be on social media and then trying to pursue different things and whatever the case may be. So I just feel that there's some type of miscommunication with actually certain things on social media in the legal field, in the legal world, even with law enforcement. There, because some people, even me, I'm like, why do people take their phones out and record when there's a tragedy or somebody? But that's the culture. Is it right? To me, in my opinion, no, it's not right. But that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. And I'm not saying it in a derogatory manner, but that's what they do. It's like a cultural type of thing, social media wise. I might not understand it because I'm a woman of a different age and I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I was raised within a different era. So no, I'm not going to understand when a 25-year-old pull out their camera and start recording somebody, and I'm going to think, well, that's ignorant, that's stupid. Start recording somebody who's deceased on the ground or just been, so no, but there's their generation. That's what they do. So that's just an example of, to me, in my opinion, the difference, like age wise, culture wise, social wise, there's a huge gap, a generational gap, So again, I think there's a disconnect within the courts system and with them implementing certain things in some states by, hey, we're going to use social media to go after this person. We're going to use it as evidence. Got to be really careful, especially with music too. It's art. That doesn't mean you're actually doing it. And then with the tattoo thing, I don't think, again, why didn't Tory's team of attorneys, and I'm thinking, and I'm assuming they didn't go fight tooth and nail to not have his rap lyrics or tattoos or whatever body art used in the court. Like, everybody, I got tattoos on me. It doesn't mean specifically like, hey, I'm about this or I'm about that, or maybe that time of my life has passed and maybe I'm reborn. You know what I'm saying? Look at Black China, aka Angela White. She's changing, getting tattoos removed and all of that. And maybe I haven't had time to get certain tattoos removed. I don't, you can't go by that. It's art. And then some art is inspired by people or situations or experiences. That doesn't totally define you. It's art. It's expression. So the courts have to be very careful with using social media because it could be bots accounts, trolls accounts. They're showing you that now. You can buy fake people to do things under posts, fake accounts. So they have to be very careful. And again, I believe there's a disconnect. And just because a detective has years of experience on a force, but how are you really well versed in how social media totally works? Again, blue check marks are meaningless now. Everybody can kind of get a check mark. Social media, they're charging for certain levels. Now, I think even Instagram and Facebook is going that route. And again, as I stated before, you can get someone to run your account. Those who have blue check marks or those who don't have blue check marks. So I don't know if law enforcement, if they're really truly understanding all of this. So you got to be very careful, because you got to take sometimes with social media, if you don't do your digging, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Got to take it with a grain of salt if you don't do more research or digging as to, okay, who is this person? Is this real? Are they serious? Where is this coming from? You know, you have to do, it's a lot of digging you have to do to kind of connect the dots, to cover yourself, to make sure that you're confident that the information there is correct, or you get that person who made that comment before the court, signed with the affidavit. So I'm not understanding why Tory's team of attorneys didn't at trial get that person who it was alleged that made certain posts, and that didn't even come from Daystar Peterson. So why wasn't that person held under an affidavit of oath or something, an affidavit during trial? Why? That should have been done during trial. So yeah, go ahead and like and share, subscribe to the mix, like and share, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, this is my final recap, because obviously, unless something happens happens that I'm unaware of, or just miraculously happen, unless that happens tomorrow, that the court date is pushed back, sentencing is pushed back, or the judge is not available, tomorrow sentencing will be April 10th. But sentencing won't happen in Daystar Peterson case if the Judge David grants a motion for a new trial. So again, I hope all this is making sense. Thank you all for tuning into the mix. Like. Let's engage in the comment section. Drop a comment. Again, if the judge grants a motion for a new trial, there's no need for an appeal. There's no need for an appeal. Mr. Tory Lanez will be going through a new trial again. So, go ahead, like and share this video, like and share. I hope, again, all this is making sense. I thank you guys for tuning into the mix. Drop a comment, hit your notifications. And if you want to donate to the mix for content enhancement creation, you can Zelle me at tplegal30@gmail.com, or you can cash at me at $ capital THEMIXX30. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.